Today's Terrific Talk episode is brought to you by Simple Contacts. I recently tried the Simple Contacts app and it saved me so much time, so much money. I ordered my contact lenses online and I wanted to share this with my listeners. If you wear contacts, you probably hate the annual eye appointment you have to go to renew your prescription. Well, Simple Contacts brings the doctor to you. You can take a vision test at home in under 5 minutes, then a real doctor reviews your test and writes you a new prescription. It's that easy. Simple Contacts offers every brand of lenses and their prices are unbeatable. And my listeners also get $30 off their first Simple Contacts order with the code TerrificTom, promo code TerrificTom. So to save $30 on your lenses, just go to simplecontacts.com/TerrificTom or enter the promo code TerrificTom at checkout. Again, that's simplecontacts.com/TerrificTom or just enter the promo code TerrificTom at checkout. All right, I have a fantastic guest today, Sam Ravech. You all know his father, the legendary ESPN Baseball Tonight studio host. Sam grew up in Connecticut on the Bristol campus. He shares a lot of really cool stories hanging out with his dad. So we're going to get into his career here, and I hope you like it. Sam Ravech, right after the music. Terrific Talk Podcast. Welcome back, Terrific Talk Podcast.
Here comes the host.
I'm your host, Tom Anderson.
First, behind the bag, it gets to Buckner. Here comes Knight, and the Mets win it. Back.
All right, beautiful day here from the Hoboken Studios in New Jersey. I've got a great guest. Sam Ravech is a broadcaster for the Richmond Flying Squirrels, a AA affiliate of the San Francisco Giants. He's the son of legendary sportscaster and ESPN veteran Carl Ravech, and he's a fan of this podcast, so I had to have him on today. Really excited. Let me bring him in here. Sam Ravech, welcome to Terrific Talk.
Hey, Tom, thanks for having me on. I hope this isn't the first time. I'll try to maybe do a weekly basis. I don't know. We'll see what happens.
No, man, I would love that. We'll see how it goes. So you've got a really cool story. You told me you basically grew up in the ESPN world. You were on the set with your dad all the time. What was that like?
Well, it was an experience unlike any other, and I'm extremely grateful, and I was very fortunate to be able to grow up in that atmosphere. I mean, I remember for as far back as we can go, going to the studio when my dad was doing late night Sports Center, and they used to have it was like a 1 a.m. Sports Center, 2 a.m. Sports Center. They don't really have that anymore. But I recall going there, and it was he was doing it. You had Scott Van Pelt, who has his show now. You also it's just legendary people, and I would frequently sleep under the desk where the studio was. And a lot of people don't know that, but I remember telling a story before where it was a Red Sox playoff game. I think it might have been in 2004, and I was doing that at Fenway Park, and it was getting late, and I was tired, so I fell asleep underneath the Baseball Tonight desk, and that was back when it was Harold Reynolds, John Kruk, and Peter Gammons.
Yeah. And
my foot was actually, you could see it. If you go back and watch the Baseball Tonight, I think it might have been Game 4 or Game 5 maybe, but my foot was actually leaking out. You could see it from behind the desk, and I am sure, without a doubt, the producer was probably losing his mind. But I was asleep, and I would tug on my dad's IFB, which, for those who don't know, was your earpiece that the producer talks to you, and I would tug on that when I wanted to get his attention, and I'm sure he didn't really appreciate that.
That's awesome. Growing up, you're walking around the set and everything. What anchors, reporters, you name it, guests, were super friendly to you? Who did you like?
That's a good question. You had one of them on your show, Jay Harris.
Great guy.
Was awesome. Really good guy. SVP is a good friend of mine. He's been there. I've asked him questions along my journey so far. I'm trying to think. Yeah, Scott Van Pelt, obviously my dad. Tim Kirchin, I call him Uncle Tim, but he's been kind of one of those guys who's also, by the way, one of the nicest guys that you will ever meet, even if you just cross him on the street. He's been great. John Kruk was hilarious, and those are just a couple to name a few. But there are so many over there that have welcomed me in with open arms even when I was young, and I told them that's what I wanted to do. They have been supportive from day one. So there's honestly so many and too many to mention, but I mean, people in the that are making decisions over there. Norby Williamson is a great dear friend. So there are honestly so many, and it was such a cool experience.
Talking about your journey, when did you kind of decide that this is what you wanted to do? You wanted to be a sportscaster?
It wasn't as early as you might have expected. It was really in high school. I started writing first. I started writing, and I became the sports editor for our high school newspaper at Avon Oak Farms, which is where I went to high school in Connecticut. And that was kind of where the journey all started. But originally it was writing. I wanted to kind of be a journalist and not really be on TV. But as I went to college at Pepperdine University out in California, I had the opportunity right as a freshman to start broadcasting games and doing play-by-play. So my first really experience broadcasting a game on TV was a Pepperdine women's volleyball game. Now, I'm not sure where you grew up, but I grew up in Connecticut, and we didn't really have volleyball. That wasn't really a game that anybody played, especially on the men's side, but certainly women's is growing in popularity. But that was the first game I broadcasted, and Tom, I had no idea what I was talking about. It was an absolute disaster. I'm sure if we were to dig up that tape, it would certainly crack some laughs. But that was kind of my first introduction into it, and I think doing volleyball games it kind of taught me that, one, you need to be versatile in this world of broadcasting and in our industry, and two, things are going to go wrong on any broadcast that you have. It doesn't matter if you're doing a podcast, if you're doing radio, play-by-play, studio. There's always something that's going to go wrong, and you have to kind of adjust with that and try to make it seamless so nobody who's watching knows that something just went wrong. So those were kind of a couple lessons I learned early, and I think down the road it certainly helped me out with what I'm doing now.
So funny you mentioned the volleyball. I had almost the exact same situation. I went to school at American University in D.C., and I ended up the first time I ever did play-by-play, they put me on women's field hockey, and I had no idea what was going on, and it really was just a complete disaster. And I had no idea what was happening, but you do get through it. You do get through it, and you realize you're on live, and you figure it out. Has there been any times when you've been on live where something horrible has happened, and you've had to work through it?
Oh gosh, I mean, you can go back to some of these Pepperdine games I did, and to be completely frank with you, they were terrible. I mean, I would go back and watch after just doing one full season in professional baseball now in Double-A. I've gone back and watched, and I couldn't get through about 5 minutes because it was just so bad, and it was comical. But now looking back on it, it was those experiences that of course made you better. But of course, I mean, mics would cut out for minutes on end during games. Cameras, when we did our studio sports report on our TV campus station, cameras pointing at the wrong place, teleprompters not on the right stories. You name it, it went wrong. And honestly, I think if you don't have those experiences, then it creates for a more difficult kind of journey.
We're talking with Sam Ravech here on Terrific Talk. Sam, what's the best piece of advice that your dad or any of your colleagues have given work-wise, TV-wise?
Yeah, I think, I'll go to my dad here because, we do, people always kind of think, and when you're on the outside looking in, people would think we sit down at a dinner table whenever we are together, and all we talk about is sports. But he is my dad, and I'll go to him for any sort of advice I need, whether it's career-wise or anything else that's going on. But as far as my career goes, so a piece of advice that I've always taken with me is just be yourself, because at the end of the day, if you can look yourself in the mirror and you can say, I was true to myself today, I was Sam Ravech, then that's all that really matters. And I think when you try to become somebody else, or you try to emulate another broadcaster, that's where the lines kind of get blurred, and it doesn't really turn out that great. And I have fallen victim to that too. You look at a Vin Scully, who's the greatest play-by-play broadcaster ever. Nobody is going to be another Vin Scully. You might, somebody might say that you can tell stories like Vin Scully, or you can call a play like Vin Scully. But if you're yourself and people don't like it, they're not going to like it. But I don't know if you follow my dad on Twitter, but he is one of the funniest guys, because people will of course tweet at him or tweet at me saying, you suck, you're awful, and
Right.
he'll just say, thanks for watching, because at the end of the day, the ratings are there. So if you're watching, you're doing something right.
Yeah, if people are talking about it, you're doing something well.
Exactly.
It's hilarious. How has your experience been broadcasting the Flying Squirrels? How's that been? What have you learned about yourself there?
Oh, it's been amazing. Our general manager and people here, Todd Parnell is most well-known guy in minor league baseball. Everybody here in the front office has opened their arms to me. Somebody came up to me last year and told me this. I had no idea, but one of the reporters in Richmond here asked me, what does it feel like to be the youngest broadcaster in AA baseball? And I didn't even know that that was true. I thought, I had an inclination it might be.
Yeah.
But I said, look, the Flying Squirrels and the Giants have given me an opportunity here, and it's been amazing since day one that I arrived. To be honest, I had to work out, because I was still a senior in college at the time that I had accepted the job with the Flying Squirrels in the Giants organization. So I wasn't able to get here until pretty much a year ago today. So I finished my senior year basically taking tests at VCU, which is a school here in Richmond. I would teach myself whatever classes I had left, and they would go proctor the test over there. So it was challenging, but we worked it out on both sides. So I was able to graduate, and that was kind of the most important thing. I'm sure if you were to get my mom on the phone, she would say, you could take she said, you take the job, but you graduate.
Yeah.
No, Richmond has been amazing. Everybody here has been wonderful, and I'm really looking forward to another season.
Quick break here to talk about Simple Contacts. I want to tell you about this brand new app called Simple Contacts. They let you renew your prescription and reorder your brand of lenses from anywhere in minutes through an online vision test. They're literally bringing the doctor's office to your home. This isn't a replacement for your periodic full eye health exam. It's so easy. The contact lens prices are unbeatable. The vision test is only $20 and shipping is free. Best of all, my listeners get $30 off their first Simple Contacts order with promo code TerrificTom. Try it for yourself and save $30 on your lenses by going to simplecontacts.com/TerrificTom or entering the code TerrificTom at checkout. Again, that's simplecontacts.com/TerrificTom or just enter code TerrificTom at checkout. Now back to Sam Ravech. Couple rapid fire questions here before we go. What's your favorite sport?
Let's do it.
What's your favorite sport?
Favorite sport? You know what? I'm gonna have to say baseball, but looking ahead, college basketball is gonna be awesome, and also I'm a huge golf fan. Love to play.
What do you think of Tiger?
Tiger was amazing. Yes, I am one of the guys who said Tiger will not be back, and I think the fact that he is back is better for the game of golf. When he is in it, it makes it just a better game. You saw the crowd there, and
Oh, yeah.
everybody at the Valspar yesterday, and it was funny. I thought watching Brant Snedeker was even more funny, because he could have thrown his club 50 yards. Nobody would have noticed, because they were all watching Tiger Woods.
It was amazing. It's great to have him back. What's your favorite show on TV right now?
You know what? I really don't watch that much TV. I really don't have that much time. I think if we were to go off TV right now, probably Friday Night Lights was one of my favorite shows
Nice.
growing up. Entourage, hilarious.
The best.
I'm trying to think. Those are two that come to mind. I'm sure when I hang up the phone with you, I'll think of another one, and I'll hit myself. But those are the two that come to mind when I think of great TV shows.
You can eat only one more meal. What would it be?
Chick-fil-A. Hands down, I'm going to Chick-fil-A.
No
for the rest
hesitation
of my
there.
life.
No hesitation.
No hesitation there.
Sam, this was great. Thanks so much for coming on today. Everybody check out Sam on Twitter, and hopefully we can do this again. This was great.
Anytime, Tom. Anytime.